Okay, as I said previously, the light's very good at this time of day, so another recording just to take advantage of the light, really. You can see my place is a bit of a mess. The windows are where I store all my rubbish, but it just happens like that when you've got paper everywhere. It all ends up on the window ledge. Anyway, so what was I going to talk about? Probably J. Edgar Hoover the musical. I want to explain that a little bit. Uh, it comes out of a conversation I had with a friend of mine, Jeff Brown, about a year and a half ago, I think. Um, he'd read a biography of J. Edgar Hoover in which the author was claiming that J. Edgar Hoover was in a gay relationship with Little Richard. Now, this is probably a fantasy world, but it set me thinking about what could be happening on a New York and Washington gay scene with Little Richard and J. Edgar Hoover involved in it. So, the premise for J. Edgar Hoover the musical is Americana um, between 1895 and about 1973, because that's the lifespan of J. Edgar Hoover. So I'm going to take some liberties with pretty much everything that I do with this, because it's a free flowing stream of consciousness kind of idea. But I want to use American music, and I want to use gay anthems, and I want to use science fiction anthems, things that people know about, and we'll just put them into a specific format that involves J. Edgar Hoover very peripherally. Um, the setting for the show is a gay nightclub called Club Tropicana, which is a way of bringing in Cuba to the idea. So it takes in the political situation around the Bay of Pigs and the Kennedy assassination. I also wanted to bring in a little bit of the 1920s Prohibition era theme. There happens to be a bar around the corner from me that's called Prohibition, that has a cabaret stage in the corner of it. So what I thought was I would use that as the model, or possibly the venue, for the actual show if it ever happens. If it doesn't happen as a live theatre show, it'll certainly happen as a radio show again. It's already happened once as a radio show, but I didn't keep a record of the music that I was using, so I've got to reconstruct it every time, which means every time it's going to be slightly different. Every time that I do J. Edgar Hoover the musical as a radio show, it'll have slightly different themes and slightly different music and slightly different narrative. So it's an evolving process. I did have a project that never quite happened, a fantasy project about 20 years ago, which was to put together a concept show based around the Tibetan Book of the Dead, that was going to be a kind of evolving show to match the astrological process that's going on in the sky. That didn't quite happen. It didn't happen at all, really. It was just in my head. But J. Edgar Hoover, the musical, has the potential to actually happen, which makes it more interesting. And it's a broader theme than the Tibetan Book of the Dead as well, so it'll be more interesting to more people. Makes it a popular culture project rather than just a vanity project. We'll see how it happens. But it's got potential. It's got definitely got potential.